Welcome!
Welcome, guys!
How's everybody doing?
We hope well. Now's the time to grab a cup of coffee or hot chocolate.
Should have already grabbed your coffee or your hot chocolate.
We need some hot chocolate here.
That's right.
Well, we appreciate you guys giving up your evening for us to join us tonight to hear a little bit about Land of the Living.
That's right. We are Caleb and Bethany Kuenzli, if you don't know who we are, and we have a beautiful ministry that we want to share with you. So we've got some different things that are going to be coming up for this year, for 2021. We also got our board that we want to introduce to you, and we have a couple of testimonies. So it's going to be a good night.
Yes. So we created a wonderful visual slideshow. So hopefully you can follow along there at home. And
guess what? We're still here. Hi.
Look at that. So many of you may know us from our music or a Rekindle retreat. Maybe you've attended one of those, but not many of you know what in the world is Land of the Living. So we wanted to give you guys an understanding of the heart of this ministry, how it happened, and all the good things. So we actually launched Land of Living as a nonprofit ministry in 2017.
Yeah.
And one of the main verses is Psalm 27:13. I would have lost heart unless I had believed that I would see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living.
And that verse has meant a lot to me over the years. My grandfather and I really talked about that verse for a long time. So when we started dreaming about a ministry and we started dreaming about a name, that name just popped out. We were like, we know that from somewhere. And we found it in Psalm 27. So it was beautiful.
So, of course, we have to show you our precious twins. This is Zion and Alleluia. And we had the beautiful pleasure of going through the process of adoption. Mm-hmm. We actually got them when they were 7 weeks old. And that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But it's absolutely incredible. They are now 2 and so precious. So the vision of this ministry is restoring generations to wholeness. And the mission is renewing minds to reflect the heart of the Father. And in January 2017, we started asking God who we were in His eyes.
And that was a really long journey of us coming out of some ministry and coming out of some intense seasons, but then stepping into finding out who we were, not just kind of jumping into a job, not just jumping into another place, but really finding out who are we and then deciding what to do from that.
Yeah. So in May of 2017, the dream started beginning to birth in us for Land of Living and what that would look like. In October of 2017, we ended up hosting our first ever Rekindle retreat.
And it was awesome.
It was so amazing. We planned for 8, but 18 young adults ended up showing up, which was insane.
And overwhelming.
Here's some photos of those beginning days. All the leaders, half of our attendees came back and led at the next retreat, which was incredible. We had a cooking team and all sorts of help in that, and it was so amazing. And, Land of the Living has so many different facets of what we do, and it looks, like discipleship and worship and stewardship and all sorts of beautiful things, but we wanted to kind of break that down of what that looks like.
Yeah, so our discipleship model is we have some big events called Rekindle retreats. We've got different kinds. So we have some for young adults. That's probably like our flagship retreat that we do that we just are absolutely blown away by and absolutely in love with because we just love discipling young adults. But we also have some for youth. We have some for adults. And we're going to talk about that later. And we also had a songwriters retreat last year, which that was new for us. But equally amazing and equally a beautiful time for people.
Absolutely. We also have worship, teaching, songwriting, and recording. So we just got the opportunity to record an EP last year in 2020. And it was so amazing. So if you have not heard it, it's called Strike the Dark. Go check it out.
Streaming everywhere. And then we're actually in the process of recording a worship album right now at Attic Studios with the overly talented and amazing Nathan Hurst and Josh Ball. We can't wait to work with these guys and are having fun with it already. So then the third trail of ministry that we have is stewardship. And I'm actually in the process of finishing some novels. I've got like a whole series of stories called The Legend of Evelyn that I'm working on, and then we have our nonfiction Christian-based books that we work on, and then we also have some more alternative music that hopefully we'll release this year. It's recorded, it's done, it's beautiful. We're just kind of waiting for a few things to fall into motion in order for us to be able to release it. But we're really excited about those projects too. And stewardship is our ability to reach out beyond the walls of the church and hopefully be able to touch someone's life that could hopefully bring them to Christ, but at the same time just bring them to a level of wholeness inside of themselves if they're searching.
Yeah. So we obviously do a lot of different things, and this is kind of a snapshot of different ways that you can bring us to your church through leading worship or your camp or retreat. We also do spiritual coaching, which is something that we just launched. It's a 12-week one-on-one intensive with discovering the freedom for your heart. And so that is amazing. We also teach at different camps, retreats, churches, and soul care is something we also just started not too long ago, but prayer ministry, getting into the inner workings of our heart and seeing Jesus show up. It's absolutely amazing. And of course, young adult small groups has been such an amazing highlight of our week. Mm-hmm. Every week we meet with young adults and be able to just get together with community. And so that's been such a treasure.
And a big part of that too is the fact that we do have these big events that we like to kind of lead toward, but we also have these week-to-week, person-to-person relationships that we also develop. And that's really where a majority of Land of the Living really thrives, is in those face-to-face relationships with people, really walking them through the reality and the mess of life. And we get to do that with them, and it's messy, and it's sometimes uncomfortable, and sometimes it's just a little crazy, because people are crazy and we're crazy. But that's the beauty of what we get to do. That's the beauty of what God called out of us.
Yeah. So we want to share some testimonies from those things with you. We're also going to show some videos right after this, but one of the testimonies from the small group is I grew up believing that I had a 1 in a million chance of hearing from God. But since coming to BPM, I learned that He isn't the kind of God that I have a 1 in a million chance with. He is a God who loves me and wants to speak to me.
And that's just incredible, but I've seen Bethany do this small group in different states, different churches, different places with so many different young women, and I'm telling you, every single one of them is blessed, every single one of them is rocked, so you're crushing it, babe.
Thanks, babe. So you too. The second testimony was from a Rekindle retreat that we had, and she said, I came to Rekindle with suicidal thoughts. I left knowing my worth.
That's the kind of stuff. That's like the stuff that gets us to. This is why we do what we do. We get to walk people out of the pain, the anxiety, the fear, the darkness, and we really get to not get them an encounter with us, but an encounter with the Holy Spirit, with the Father, with Jesus.
Yeah. So here's another video testimony for someone that participates in Caleb's small group.
I'm Jason Driver. I was actually asked to share what it's like being in Caleb's small group and what it's meant to me. It's actually transformed me being able to connect with other guys and uplift, call out, and even come up alongside other people when we're struggling. Definitely has created a brotherhood that I couldn't be happier for. And everyone is learn and grow alongside each other. Would definitely give it a 10 out of 10. Awesome.
Thanks, Jason. And now we have a soul care testimony to share.
I've gone from living a life of isolation, depression, to wanting to share Christ with as many people as I can. Soul care made a lot of that possible, realizing that I have a lot of gunk on the inside, that the enemy attacks us from the second we're born. And soul care is a great way to get a lot of that stuff out. Pray, break off soul ties, all that stuff. It really helps. I don't even think I would be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for soul care. Being able to sit down and be like, hey, this is what I'm feeling. I haven't felt right. I've been really angry lately, and I don't even know why I'm angry. And through prayer and reflection, you realize, oh, something happened 10 years ago, and that's the reason that I'm getting angry now. And being able to pray that off, break it off, it's tremendously helpful. I would definitely recommend soul care.
And now we have a testimony of spiritual coaching.
Spiritual coaching definitely is one of the best decisions that I made for last year. Just to have someone and a place to go to week after week that you know you're going to have a real check-in of how you're doing and where you want to be going and how that actually is flushing out and working out is huge, instead of just feeling like I had to fight by myself. And I think too, having a lot of lies exposed of what I thought God thought of me, and learning how to change that perspective and replace it with truth has been one of the biggest things that I took away from spiritual coaching. But also too, to just have someone speak to you with authenticity and love and compassion in addition to wisdom is huge. So 10 out of 10 recommend for anyone. It's one of the best decisions that you can make, and one of the best seasons that you'll probably have for a while.
So good.
Thanks, Helen. Oh my gosh. That was amazing. Yeah, those testimonies always get us. It's just when you hear and see God doing so much in these times, it is so rewarding to watch God work.
Yeah, and a big part of, I think, I was talking about this with somebody the other day, of what we do and what we try to help do is try to demystify who God is, what our relationship with him is like, and what a relationship just in general would look like between people, but definitely between me and God. And so being able to hear those testimonies of how people have been changed just from their encounter with him. Yeah, we got to play a part of that. And there's some tools that God's blessed us with in order to help people get there. But at the end of the day, it's the encounter with him that's what brings the healing. That's what brings the fullness in people's lives. And so it's really been cool to try to bring that idea of demystifying who he is. I think that's
so
really
good.
cool.
Yeah, that's so important. These are just a few photos of us doing what we do in action and seeing just students connect with the Lord, which is so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We also wanted to introduce you to our board. So Land of Living, we wouldn't make it without our board, honestly.
Definitely not. As a 501c3 nonprofit, we do have that official tax status with the United States, I guess is the way to say it. But there is a part of it that we need the board for oversight to help make sure that the nonprofit is being managed properly.
Yeah.
But above that, we look at it as spiritual covering. And so we've got some amazing people here that we want to introduce you to. And so first, we've got Keith Dyke. He is our board chairman. We're blessed by him. Mike and Micah Riggs. Mike just came on as our treasurer. We got Steve and Kelly Latta. Jay and Elaine DeSold.
Hello, guys.
Chad and Jasmine Legore. And last but not least, Eric and Allie Welch. We're so blessed to have them on our board and so blessed to have them just be a part of our ministry, our lives. A lot of this is just really walking hand in hand with each other and them pouring in wisdom and blessing into our lives and helping us steward the ministry. And so we were grateful for them, but we also want to make sure you guys know that it's not just Bethany and I going out doing what we want to do and raising money and all the different things. It's actually, there's a whole room of people that get together, if not monthly, definitely, every other month, to make sure that the finances are above board and to make sure that the things are taken care of.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys so much, board family. Well, we did some research, and George Barna did a study where he said Americans are constantly trying to figure out how to make sense of biblical teachings in light of their daily experiences.
Yeah.
And people have misconceptions about themselves because of a broken perception of the Father. They are seeking to have an encounter with God, but they need the tools to develop friendship with him.
That's right.
So that's what we do. We teach the necessary tools in order to be able to navigate the daily mundane moments of life and how to process our emotions through the lens of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, so some of the ways that we've kind of seen that, like we definitely not only see that there's generations that are craving the authentic version of who God is, not just something that we talk about on Sundays, but a real encounter, a real person who's going to love me and heal me and wash me. And so we really feel called, to kind of foster a generation.
Yeah.
And so we take in men and women, sons and daughters, who are kind of living with that father of lies. They're living with this misconception, this darkness of who God is.
Yeah.
But we really bring them into this place of adoption with a good father. And it's crazy because we've adopted,
Yeah.
and without trying to compare those things, I'm just saying that we understand the nature of adoption, of bringing people into your family
Right.
and bringing them into the love that you're giving. And so we understand like that place, and we've walked with so many people who've done foster to adopt and adoption and all different kinds of things. And so we love seeing that process. But people with troubled backgrounds from religion, church burns, numbing, pain, loss, torment, confusion, we've actually ministered all over the world. We've had people come to our retreats from different countries. We've gone to other countries to minister.
Yeah.
And when we go into places, we kind of have the anticipation and the expectation that we're taking land of the living with us.
Yeah.
And that as they step into our atmosphere, we're actually stepping into the atmosphere of heaven. And so we
Yeah.
love setting up that reunion for people to be able to really get their heart back in touch with the Father's heart.
Absolutely. So since October of 2017, we have met with young adults 2 to 3 times a week. We have had 4 young adult Rekindle retreats, 2 high school retreats, 1 adult retreat, and 1 songwriters retreat. Traveled over 500 times to various churches and ministries to lead worship and teach. Over 200 soul care sessions and over 150 spiritual coaching sessions. That's a lot of sessions.
We're not busy at all. we don't do too much.
We say chill.
Yeah, that's right. So this year for 2021, we've got 3 retreat opportunities for you.
Ooh, this is my favorite.
You talk about the first one, and I'll do the next one.
So, some of you know that we had our first ever songwriters retreat, and it was incredible. We had speakers come from all over, people who have just been a father to worship, and songwriters who have their own studios and have really understood how to, what am I trying to say?
Just like people who understand how to cultivate not only music but sound and actually move people's hearts through that.
Yes.
And so songwriting, we weren't just looking at it from the place of worship leading, but looking at it from how do I cultivate something from in me to the Father, to people, and even to myself. And so we had a huge group of amazing men come in and really just bless us and bless our students. It was beautiful.
Thank you, babe. that summed it up with a perfect wrap.
I'm here for you. So
we have a songwriters retreat coming up to be announced. We have not announced this date yet because it's actually going to be online.
Virtual.
We had so many people who are interested in songwriting retreat, but the flights, COVID, all the things, we just understand that not everybody can make it, but people want to.
Right.
And so we wanted to offer this experience to all over the world. So stay tuned for those announcements on that retreat. It's going to be incredible.
That's right. But we have our first adult retreat in Pennsylvania, May 19th through the 22nd. This is a 4-day intensive to really go through a lot of the things that we've talked about with some of the other ministry things that we do. But the Rekindle retreat is a 4-day intensive of really setting your heart on a course to not only let God in on your life, but actually like let him begin to speak and begin to actually set your heart on the path that it was meant to be set on. And so it's a very intimate time. It's a very intentional time. We do everything we can to protect that space. And so we will be having applications out soon. So but we wanted you guys to know that the adult retreat is coming.
Yes. And then we also have a young adult retreat coming up in Pennsylvania as well on August 26th through the 29th. So mark your calendars with these dates, guys. Yeah. And the way that you can find out about them the quickest is to subscribe to our website. So I'm actually going to show you how to do that.
But real quick, it is a Wednesday night through a Saturday night. And so you do have to work your work schedules to make that work. If you got kids and all those things, just keep that in mind. But we start Wednesday night for dinner, and then we go to Saturday night for dinner, and you get Sunday to get back home and rest and all the things before you get back to work on Monday.
Yes. So we wanted to give you an opportunity to learn how to subscribe. So if you will go to rekindleretreats.org, this window is going to pop up. You just put your name and email in the slots, and then you can type us a message. Hey, I'm interested in hearing about your retreats. Let us know, and that way you can get plugged in easily.
That's right.
So we wanted to talk to you a little bit about how this ministry is funded.
So the biggest thing that was really kind of heart-wrenching in 2017 and 2018, figuring out what we were going to do and how we were going to start a ministry, was realizing that we were going to step into full-time fundraising. And that is a ridiculous and giant God ask for us, because it was really easy to go get a job, really easy to go make money somewhere else. But then now to raise money, there was like this other level of accountability that now, we're being funded by the generosity of others. Sometimes that's one-time gifts. Sometimes that's monthly donors who are giving regularly, whether through our website or checks that they send in. We also get donations when we get to travel, but COVID's been a little crazy. So anyway, our full-time support goes towards our salaries, goes towards benefits, goes towards a lot of the ministry expenses, and it allows us to run the way that we run. And so everything is tax deductible, and so that goes towards filing taxes at the end of the year. But we have ways to give online, and we also have ways that you can send stuff in.
Yeah, I remember whenever someone came up to Caleb and said, I don't know how much longer you're going to be at this job, but the next place you go, you're going to start your own nonprofit. And I was like,
no, Lord.
Oh my gosh, what? No.
Right.
I was so opposed to the idea. 100%. I actually was working currently for a nonprofit. So I saw just the ins and outs of raising support, and it felt like I don't want to do that. And so the Lord really worked in my heart to be able to challenge me with putting my security not in a salary position or a paycheck, but in Him.
Right.
And so it's been incredible to see the ways that He's worked. And if you're interested in partnering with our ministry through giving, we want to show you how to do that. So if you will go back to our website after you've subscribed, you're going to click on, also just check out the whole website while you're here. We have our kingdom values, all of the stuff on retreats.
Lots of things.
A blog, contact information, spiritual coaching is down here. We have a shop with our music on it and books, so check that out. But if you'll click donate,
it'll send you to this page,
the donate page. And so if you'll just click give now, right here on this page, you can enter the amount you want to give. So let's just say you want to give a one-time gift to the upcoming worship album. We are currently raising $20,000 for this album. And through the help of generous supporters like you, we actually only have $10,000 left to raise. So already half has been given, which we cannot thank you enough. If you are interested in giving a monthly gift, so let's just say you want to give monthly to this ministry and join our donor family. You can click from one time to regularly and then choose how you would like to give. So monthly, if you get paid on the 5th, then you want your donation to come out on the 6th, you can choose whichever date and then submit your email, your first and last name, and then follow the directions to do so.
That's right.
So pretty easy stuff.
Yeah, for us, it's been amazing to not only see the generous donations come in, but then how God has provided for us over the last almost 3 years as a nonprofit, but even the last 4 years to really make this ministry happen. And so as scary as it was to step out in faith to raise funds, it's actually been one of the most beautiful journeys to see people saying yes to our ministry, but also yes to what God is doing through us. And so God's hand on us really going after what discipleship looks like, worship looks like, and stewardship we've just only been able to rest in who he is and make sure that, it's not striving, we're not raising it so that we can try to live this pimped out lifestyle, but it's this idea that we're living as missionaries in the U.S. to really try to reach the church for greater intimacy with the Father.
Well, after all that, guys, we know that we promised for you to be able to hear a sneak peek of an upcoming song on our album.
Yep.
And before we do that, I just wanted to share a little bit about the heart of that song. It's called Proximity. And this song is so special to me. It's probably one of my favorite songs that I've ever written. They're my favorite. But seriously, this song is so intimate. It is about coming from the perspective of a woman or man in the Old Testament who have read their whole lives about Jesus. And so they know him through the book, but then he unfolds in their life. He shows up in human flesh. And so it's one thing to talk about him. It's one thing to read about him, but it's another to have him there.
Right.
And so the reality that heaven is here for me, and how blown away that is. So we hope that this song wrecks your heart and just sets you on fire for Jesus. And we thank you guys so much for tuning in, for giving up your time to be with us. And we love you so much and hope you have an amazing night.
Have a great night. Enjoy the song.
I'm begging you to come right in. I've seen you from a distance, but I wanna know. I gotta know. I felt the pages in my hands. It's another thing to touch your skin. You're so close, so close. 'Cause heaven is here for me. I can't wait, I can hardly speak. You came all this way for me. Now I believe every heart in this world can hold the love you give and the love you pour. For our lives there is so much more. Now I can see. Oh, you're dripping red down as you speak. In another world they won't believe I was this close, this close. 'Cause you're worth every penny that I've spent, just a drift of soil that you'll spend on your life for mine. 'Cause heaven is here for me. I can't wait, I can hardly speak. You came all this way for me. Now I believe every heart in this world can hold the love you give and the love you pour. For our lives there is so much more. Now I can see that heaven is here for me. Oh, 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 now I can see, I feel so free. You're closer than my skin. Now I can breathe. I believe you're never leaving. Now I can see, I feel so free. You're closer than my skin. Now I can breathe. I believe you're never leaving. Now I can see, I feel so free. You're closer than my skin. Now I can breathe. I believe you're never leaving. I can see, feel so free. You're closer than my skin. Now I can breathe. I believe you're never leaving.
Bye, guys.
When you speak, my heart awaits while you're calling out my name. All of the pain that drowns my mind can't sustain within your grace. You are my hope, you are my peace. I can trust you in